Right now on Denver 7 News at 5 o'clock, a new effort to find fresh leads in the JonBenet Ramsey murder. Support is now growing for a petition to take the case away from Boulder Police and to use the latest DNA technology.
The new technique that they're talking about is called investigative genetic genealogy, and you cannot afford to waste it on a technique that may not work.
So Denver's former DA weighs in on possible changes in the 25-year-old investigation as Governor Polis also promises his review.
Colorado Congressman Jason Crow is back here in Colorado after meeting Ukraine's president. And this morning, we're getting a look at some progress being made to get civilians out of the hardest hit areas.
And your donations to our Denver 7 Gives Wildfire Fund are paying off. Families over the weekend picked up some essential items we provided with help from Amazon. Those items came from a specific wish list, some just basic household items, but they're helping people get back on their feet. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. We're hopefully you're enjoying a little wet weather this morning, Lisa. Rain causing a few troubles on the roads, but it's nice to see it.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain. We needed this. My grass for sure needed this. It's been pretty crispy, pretty dry out there, and right now we're looking at still some light rain showers here in town. Some of the heavier showers and those pretty noisy thunderstorms that we saw overnight now starting to slide east. We've got more strong weather up along 76 and even a little bit of snow on the northern edge of this. The mountains also picking up a little bit of snow, so we'll see some light showers through early morning. Skies will gradually clear out a bit. It's going to be a pretty slow warm up for us. Upper 30s to low 40s this morning, getting into the low to mid 40s here by the afternoon, and highs will get to near 50 in some neighborhoods this afternoon. Denver right around 50, Highlands Ranch upper 40s, more 30s for the mountains, so pretty chilly up and through the high country this afternoon. Coming up here in a few minutes, we're going to take a closer look at some of these alerts. We do still have a winter weather advisory in effect for the northern Front Range Mountains. You get up and through Rocky Mountain National Park, a good 5 to 10 inches of snow there to kick off May.
You just mentioned snow. Well, take a look at Blackhawk. It is coming down right now. Now, the roads are mostly just sloppy and maybe a little bit of slush at the highest elevations, but the snow that's hitting the pavement is just making it wet. So I'm not seeing any real slick spots because of the snow that you can see here at Blackhawk going up Highway 6, Highway 119, or up on I-70. Take a look at the drive here in town. This is I-25 there at Broadway, and you can see the wet conditions for us to the north and southbound side. Had early morning crashes in here, a lot of hydroplaning because I saw a lot of standing water there across these highways. So at the higher speeds, you are going to see hydroplaning becoming an issue. You can see the drive times right now are okay with speeds still in the high 60s for the most part in a lot of spots. That's going to cause those hydroplaning issues, especially if you don't have any good tires that can funnel that water away. So just be careful, keep those speeds down a little bit with all this wet weather we're dealing with.
Well, it is a Colorado cold case that has been in the global spotlight since 1996. Investigators are still trying to figure out who killed JonBenet Ramsey.
And this morning, the state is looking into a new petition supported by Ramsey's father requesting that the case be transferred from Boulder Police to the feds. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us live. Christian, he hopes new technology can shed new light on the 25-plus-year-old case.
Yeah, and that petition was started just a few days ago, and it has already collected thousands of signatures. This is a case that captured worldwide attention after 6-year-old JonBenet Ramsey was reported missing back in 1996 on Christmas Day. Her body was found a day later in her family's basement, and her killer has still never been found. Now, this petition is now calling on the state and Governor Jared Polis to use new genetic genealogy technology to help solve this case. And we spoke to former Denver DA Mitch Morrissey, who investigated the case years ago. He now has a company that's helped solve nearly a dozen cases using this genetic genealogy. And we spoke to him about whether or not he thinks this technology could help solve the case.
Well, there's issues with the technology. First of all, you're sequencing the DNA. And there are problems doing that when you have a mixture of two people's DNA. The DNA in the Ramsey case is always been a mixture. It's a mixture wherever you find it.
And Governor Polis said that the state will look into how it can help and possibly use this technology to finally get some answers and help solve this case. Live this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thank you, Christian. Boulder Police also issued a statement of their own saying they have used state-of-the-art DNA technology in their investigation into JonBenet's killing. Boulder says as of this past December, CBI has updated over 750 reference samples with that technology, and case DNA is checked often for new matches. Boulder Police Chief Maris Harold said every time new DNA technology is changed, they work to make sure the evidence can be tested. So we take a closer look at the numbers this morning. Since 1996, Boulder Police have received more than 21,000 tips connected to JonBenet's case. Investigators have traveled to 19 different states to interview more than 1,000 people. Boulder Police say the investigation has and will continue to be a priority for them.
Well, this morning, Ukraine's president says more than 100 civilians, mostly women and children, are set to arrive in a southeastern city that's still under Ukrainian control. It comes after a video posted online by Ukrainian forces showed civilians escaping from Mariupol. As many as 1,000 people are still believed to be inside a steel plant in the city that has been largely demolished, but still being defended by Ukrainian forces. First Lady Jill Biden will meet with Ukrainian refugees this week in Slovakia and Romania. She'll visit with U.S. service members as well as embassy personnel and humanitarian workers. Colorado Congressman Jason Crow was part of the congressional delegation that traveled to Ukraine and Poland. He shared these photos on Twitter, including a photo of him shaking hands with President Zelensky. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi promised military and financial support to Ukraine. She's the most senior American lawmaker to visit the country since the start of the war.
Denver is exploring several strategies to provide affordable housing. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta joins us in our studio this morning because pre-applications are open today, and that's one option for families.
It is. So being able to get into adequate, good housing, it's tough for a lot of families in Denver. But today, it's a chance for them to get one step closer to that. That's because the Denver Housing Authority's subsidized housing pre-application process, like you just mentioned, it just opened about 5 hours ago or so. Now, this typically only happens once a year. We'll get right down to who can apply to be one, or to get rather, into one of these homes. Families are the first. That's anyone with children. Disabled families as well. That means the head of household lives with a disability or two people in the family are disabled. Non-elderly disabled persons as well. That's a person who lives with a disability and is less than 62 years old. Elderly family, where the head of household is at least 62, and elderly persons, a person who's at least 62 as well. The program consists of about 4,600 units in Denver, but some of those, as you can imagine, are already taken. Right now, DHA says they have anywhere between 250 to 400 units available. If you're wondering about those rent prices, that's the big question. That's based off income. So officials say the important part of this program is getting people into comfortable homes.
A foundation of a high quality home is the foundation to everybody's dream, success, and aspirations, right? So it's incumbent upon us, everybody in the Denver community, to make sure that we have enough available, affordable, high quality units that people can have a stable home. So therefore, then they can seek education, better medical opportunities close to job centers, close to really high quality health opportunities. So a stable house means everything.
The pre-application does have to be submitted online. The process is open starting today all the way up until May 11th. In studio, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Thank you, Veronica. Also on the housing front, Aurora City Council will fine-tune its urban camping ban today. The overall ban went into effect over the weekend, but some policies still need to be finalized before they can be enforced. City leaders are looking into a possible day resource center and what will happen to people's belongings after a camp is cleaned up. Also, Colorado lawmakers are looking to better regulate tiny homes. A bill would put into place the same requirements as manufactured homes, which means they would have to follow the standards set by the State Housing Board when it comes to building and installing the homes. The state could also require inspections of a tiny home.
It's been a difficult 4 months for families impacted by the Marshall Fire, but Coloradans have continued to show up to support each other. Denver 7 teamed up with Amazon over the weekend to donate $40,000 worth of essential items to families in need. Around 100 families came to pick up some much-needed items for free over the weekend. That includes Mary Lasky and her family. It's still a long road to recovery for them.
Probably the most difficult part is really trying to get your life set up again. It's really hard to comprehend what it means to lose everything. As of December 30th, every single thing we owned fit in an SUV.
Feels that we're doing our part to support them. It's a long-term recovery, and whatever we can do to continue to support as they rebuild is what we're here to do.
Yeah, a Precious Child's Warehouse in Broomfield will be open to Marshall Fire victims every Saturday for as long as it's needed, and you don't have to make an appointment.
A text from your boss might be a scam. The warning signs the Better Business Bureau says to watch out for.
And shoes that look good enough to eat? We'll tell you what Broomfield-based Crocs is adding to the classic clogs.